Hey guys, this is Logan Freeman of Logan and Kylie's Special Media. Here's a Effingham teutopolis news report story about Greg Sapp of Effingham County, who is actually the famous broadcaster for the whole Effingham area and the surrounding counties across central Illinois too. So hope you guys enjoy the video.
Greg Sapp, voice of Effingham, stepping away from sports. By Steve Raymond. The news report. He's the voice of Effingham. So, everybody instantly knows who this story is about. His voice is recognizable after the very first word. It's a strong, but pleasant voice that we've all come to trust and admire. He will jokingly say he has a face for radio. But that face is recognizable, as well. He will never be a stranger around here. And every morning, radio listeners are greeted by those familiar words, "Good morning everyone. I'm Greg Sapp," and then we let him inform us about the local news, sports and weather. Just like he's been doing for more than 45 years. Whether it's covering a meeting, broadcasting a ball game, warning us of bad weather headed our way, or serving as an MC at a variety of events, Greg has become an iconic part of this community. It's a position he has earned and richly deserves. Greg is a man of faith and integrity. He knows virtually everybody, has a keen sense of humor, and if there's a major event going on, you can rest assured Greg is on site and will provide a timely and accurate news report. He's simply a good guy. Other than being a die-hard Cubs fan. But we'll allow him that one vice. Greg has been the news director since 1978, first with WCRC and then at Premier Broadcasting, WIGS and KJ Country, since it launched in 1994. He has also broadcast hundreds, maybe thousands, of local sporting events through the years. While the news director responsibilities are continuing, Greg has decided to step away from covering sports. He stopped broadcasting basketball last year, and Friday, October 25, marked his final time in the press box, delivering all the touchdowns and tackles for Effingham Hearts football. "I'm not getting any younger," said the 68-year-old. "I've always said it's better to leave 1 year too soon than 1 year too late. I've always held myself to a high standard and I feel like I'm just not doing as well as I once did. It was time. There are two really good people, Matt Robinson and Dustin White, that are going to step in and do a great job," Greg added. "They're both young and like doing this a bunch. Let them have 15 to 20 years in the booth." Greg was born in Effingham, the son of Dalen Sapp and the late Jack Sapp. His dad was involved in starting up radio stations, so the family moved a lot. Greg said they lived in 20 different places in 21 years, including Iowa, Ohio and Florida. He moved back to Effingham his sophomore year, and I've been here ever since, he said. Greg graduated from Effingham High School in 1974 and then earned his associate's degree from Lakeland College in 1976. Greg's first radio experience came at the age of 5. "We lived in the St. Louis area," he recalled. "Dad had started a station there. They needed somebody on air that was a kid. I was 5 years old, so I qualified. I haven't been silent since." Greg thought about becoming a cab driver when he was growing up, but after graduating from LLC, "I needed something to do that I could make a living. So, he went to see Larry Wilson at the radio station. That was in the fall of 1974. Larry told me to read something," Greg noted. "I thought maybe he liked the sound of my voice. But no, he just liked the fact that I could read. So, he hired me. And Larry is still a dear friend all these years later." Greg started as the Saturday night DJ. He was then promoted to Saturday afternoon. He would read the ads or find something to talk about between the songs. And he loved it. So much so, that when Zona B. Davis retired as the news director and he was offered that job, he turned it down. "Heck no. I wanted to be a disc jockey," he remembered. The first replacement lasted 2 weeks. Again, Greg was offered the position, and again, turned it down. 2 months later, the next news director was gone. And, you guessed it, Greg was approached once again. The third time proved to be the charm. "I had a certain dollar amount in mind," Greg said. "They offered exactly that amount and I said okay." Greg began his sports broadcasting career in 1976. Larry Wilson and the late Stan Richardson had been teaming up, but Stan decided to step down to spend more time with his family. Greg was given the opportunity to be Larry's sidekick. I was an awful athlete, but I loved sports, Greg said. Thankfully, you don't have to be a good athlete to be a good broadcaster. Otherwise, I would have been sunk. Larry and Greg teamed up for many years. And when Larry retired, Greg took over the play-by-play duties. We did baseball, football and loads of basketball, Greg noted. We even did a bowling tournament once. You've never done anything until you've broadcast bowling on the radio. But Friday night football was always his favorite. When it came to football, Effingham was the only school we covered, Greg said. That's one reason I liked football so much. Everybody looked forward to Friday night. The whole town gets behind the team. It was a blast. That's why it was the last sport I gave up. As you can imagine, Greg has compiled a long list of special memories. He shared a few of them. The first was the 1979-1980 season when the Effingham Hearts went to the state basketball tournament. Mitch Arnold is still the best basketball player I ever saw, Greg admitted. Uwe Blab was good, but Mitch was outstanding. And having a 3A team playing for the state championship was rarefied air. It was such a talented team. He remembered covering the Teutopolis girls playing a game in Sullivan when they experienced difficulty getting a phone line to work. At first, I wasn't sure what we were going to do, Greg recalled. We had never had to cancel doing a game. He and his sidekick, Wayne Rubach, ended up finding a phone jack in an office down the hallway. They were able to run a phone cord, gain a connection and do the broadcast. Greg was literally sitting in the doorway to the gym. He couldn't see the entire floor, so Wayne gave him hand signals to help provide information to the listeners. We just had to improvise, Greg said. He also remembers a Hearts football game in Pana. Larry had been told the station could have only 2 people in the booth. He figured it would be okay, so Stan and Greg both came along. When they told Larry 2 people, they meant 2 people, Greg noted. I ended watching the game from the sidelines. And then there was the playoff football game in Monticello. He and Larry had to broadcast the game, sitting on top of the press box. Prior to the kickoff, Larry had to answer Mother Nature's call. His only way down to the ground was on a cherry picker. Larry made it down and took care of his business. But he had difficulty getting back and kickoff was nearing. It seems the cherry picker ran out juice. Greg said he was preparing to make his play-by-play debut when Larry finally got the cherry picker to work and returned to the top of the press box. There are so many memories and most of them are good ones, Greg said. Greg has been recognized for his work numerous times through the years. He is a member of the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association (IBCA) Hall of Fame. He received the Tom Bryant Friends of the Game Award in 2003. He was also given an IHSA Distinguished Media Service Award. He has served as the MC for the County Fair Queen pageant for nearly 25 years, served as past president for Noon Rotary and was the 2009 recipient of the Effingham Daily News Citizen of the Year. He has enjoyed being part of the premier broadcasting family since it launched on January 3, 1994. I've been part of it since Dave Ring started it, Greg noted. There are great people that work here. They work hard and have a dedication to make good radio. We're all a part of it. We're like a family here. Even though he will no longer be broadcasting sports, he plans to continue his responsibilities as news director. There's still plenty to do, Greg said. I'll still be on the morning show and I'll still be covering meetings. But I'm not going to be as relentless. I think scaling back is the best thing for me right now. I'm going to continue to find ways to enjoy life, he added. I love going on short mission trips and I could see myself doing more of those. Plus, I'm sure I'll still show up for a game or 2. And he will continue to be the voice of Effingham. It feels good to hear that, but it also carries a certain amount of weight, Greg admitted. There's a standard to be upheld and that's something I take seriously. I'm also looking forward to continue being a part of this great town, Greg added. I'm proud of Effingham and I'm proud to be part of it. I'm sure glad I was able to move back here after moving around all those years. It's been a great life. And it's been fun.
Okay guys, that's the end of the video. If you'd like to comment, want to share. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much and have a great day.